pull that out.
Nicer shirt.
Okay.
Hey, Woody, are we good?
Yes, thank you, Sam. wonderful holiday. Let's all stand and sing This Great Light of Mine. Please stand.
Great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this great spirit of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright spirit of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright spirit of mine.
Whoa, that's a rousing good morning. Good morning, everyone, for the day after Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful day yesterday. I'm Kathleen Blake, and I'll be your platform host today. So for all of you online, for all of you here enjoying us, the time together, I just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because I probably won't be up here before New Year again. So we always start our time together with thinking about what we are in this world and what the world means to us. And so we always have our candle here that's lit to remind us that we are the light of the world, that I am the light of the world, that you are the light of the world. So let us start by saying together, I am the light of the world. Let's do it again. I am the light of the world. And then when we think about looking at our neighbors and saying, you are the light of the world. So turn around to your neighbors and those at home, wave at me or talk to yourselves and say, you are the light of the world. You are. And on this nice, a little bit nippy day, let's rub our hands together really, really hard and see if we can get some nice, warm feeling going. And let's say, we are. Well, we're something. I don't know. What did I just do to the. All right, if I messed it up, they'll tell me. So let's do it. We are the light of the world. All of us. We are a shining light in this world. We also talk about how we have vibration within our own bodies. Have you ever sat there with somebody and put their hands together close? And after a while, you really do feel something. It's quite amazing to me. And that's some of our own electricity and vibration in this world. So I'm going to sound the chimes and let the vibration ring within your body. I like the chimes. The daily word today is faith. Do you know how many times I've had this word when I get up here? I think they keep recycling it, same with my cycle. So I think it's my third time. So we like to make the affirmation that's in the daily word if you don't get it at home or don't read it. It says, my inner light grows brighter through faith. Let's all say that together. My inner light grows brighter through faith. Pulling back a curtain in a dark room drives the darkness out and floods the space with light. I remember this at those times when I feel the dark. I have power to live from faith, which brings me out of spiritual darkness. Faith helps me believe that even when I can't see the light of God is always shining, I do know it's there. Little by little, my awareness of God grows increasingly brighter until I perceive the divine is everywhere. I am a spiritual being, inseparable from God. I place my faith in this truth and drive out the darkness of fear and doubt that may have caused me to shrink from the fullness of life. Shining my light in the world, I inspire those around me to grow brighter in faith. I have come as a light unto the world so that everyone who believes in me should not remain in the darkness. John 12:46. So a little reflection on faith. I hate to say it, being a female, having been married a couple times, what's always been the darkest parts of my life are when some relationship breaks up. The first one really did start with a girl in second grade when I had to move to Hawaii. I carried her 5x7 picture around with me for years and years and years. And her name is Catherine McElhenney. I will never forget her. But I remember how hard it was for me to leave her. It was the first time I'd had a friend I felt that way about. And then as I grew and relationships come and go, it's so dark when things break up, even if you need it and you know it's something that has to be. And I had to learn to say, take a breath and look at everything around me, because that's what keeps me going. That's my faith, is who made this tree? How did this flower grow so beautiful? I even look at weeds. People call them weeds. I don't know why. Because I look at weeds and I go, wow, that's a pretty fascinating plant, isn't it? And even all the things we do, like we sit in a chair that's made from things that were created around our world. So how can we not have faith that we are part of this world? We're something special in it. We're needed. Because I'm a teacher or work in education, I tell teachers, you may never, ever know what you have done to cause someone's life to be better, brighter, bigger, and bolder. Because some things we say, other people hear. Things we do, other people see. And when they do that, they take from us, and we may never know it. So remember that you are always a light of the world.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. It's all light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
So today, remember we were going to be talking a lot about different light ceremonies throughout our land and things that we've learned about. So today is the first day of Kwanzaa. So we are going to learn quite a bit about Kwanzaa today. The name Kwanzaa is derived from the phrase Matunda y Kwanza, which means first fruits in Swahili. Each family celebrates Kwanzaa in its own way, but celebrations often include songs, dances, African drums, storytelling, poetry, and a large traditional meal. I kind of want to know what that is. On each of the 7 nights, the family gathers and a child lights one of the candles on the kinara, or the candle holder. Then one of the 7 principles is discussed. We'll learn more about these in a few minutes. The principles are called Gununzo Saba, 7 principles in Swahili, and they are values of African culture which contribute to building and reinforcing community among African Americans. Kwanzaa also has 7 basic symbols which represent values and concepts reflective of African culture. An African feast called Karamu is held on December 31st. So we have Reverend Sherri James with us this morning via video. She had a reason she couldn't be here in person. She wanted to be, to share with us the teachings and life lessons of Kwanzaa. So, there she is. A nice picture of Reverend Sherri. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She is an ordained minister in the Universal Foundation for Better Living. Reverend Sherri James holds a BA from the University of Pennsylvania and an MFA from the University of Southern California. She is the creator of the Bible Hangout. Think of that, the Bible Hangout, a weekly online Bible study. That might be an interesting thing to check out. Prior to becoming a senior minister of Understanding Principles, which was founded by the Reverend Della Reese, Reverend James worked in the entertainment industry as a producer and writer. Her church, Understanding Principles, UP Church, Up Church, is located in Inglewood, California. She is a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and Jack and Jill of America Pasadena chapter. So let's listen to Reverend Sherri.
Greetings, Unity of Santa Barbara. I'm Reverend Sherri James, and I am so excited to be with you here today. I want to say thank you to Reverend Heidi, one of my fellow Houstonians, I have learned, for the invitation to be with you. And I wish that I could have been with you there today, but I'm grateful that we have technology which allows me to be a part of your service in this way. Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration of the following principles: Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujimaa, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. It's a rich tradition, culture, and shared heritage of the African American community, and it's celebrated all through Kwanzaa, which starts today, December 26th. Now, Kwanzaa may have originated with the African American community, but the transformation in consciousness that is offered through the week of Kwanzaa is available to everyone. Just as you and me read our Bibles metaphysically, and we're not those ancient Hebrew communities, and yet we can find instruction, we can find guidance, we can find encouragement, we can find motivation in those stories. I'm encouraging you to bring that same lens to this Kwanzaa experience. And so this week, between Christmas and New Year's, let yourself be transformed. Let yourself be opened up by the principles of Kwanzaa. Now, the word Kwanzaa itself means first fruits. Kwanzaa is a time for families and communities to come together to remember the past and to celebrate African American culture. The celebration begins when the leader asks the question, and it's the official question, and it goes, Habari Gani? And what that means is, what's happening? What's the news? And specifically, what's the good news? And the group responds with the principle of the day. Now, created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Ron Karenga, Kwanzaa is an African-American and a Pan-African holiday that celebrates history, values, family, community, and culture. The ideas of Kwanzaa are expressed using the Swahili language, which is one of the most widely spoken languages on the continent of Africa. Now, what you see here is called a kinara, and the kinara is a Swahili word for candle holder. And each of these candles represents one of the principles of Kwanzaa, and the colors mean something as well. The black represents the black skin, black people. The red represents the struggle, and the green represents the future. So we'll go through this together. The first principle is umoja, unity. And so we want to light the candle for unity. Umoja means to strive for and maintain unity in family, community, nation, and race. And being in unity, we understand what it is to come together. It is that idea of oneness, universal oneness. The second candle that we want to light is Kujichagulia. So I light this candle for Kujichagulia, which represents self-determination. And this means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. One of the first things that you must do as you move into spiritual maturity is to define yourself, to name it, to decide, I am. This is what we talk about so much, the power of that I am, and why we must be mindful of the words that we attach to I am. And then to create for yourself, it's taking that full responsibility, 100% responsibility for your experience. And then to speak for yourself, to recognize that it is my word that creates my world, and I will speak the word for what I desire. The second is Ujima. Ujima. And Ujima means collective work and responsibility. Collective work and responsibility. It means to build and maintain our community together and make our community's problems our problems and to solve them together. Now, said differently, that means we got a divine assignment. That means that I'm not just here for myself. I am here because I have something to contribute to the world at large. And I mean that before I get off the earth, I will have made my positive contribution. This fourth candle is Ujamaa. Ujamaa. And that is cooperative economics. And it means to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. But we know that. We know that God is my banker. I cannot be broke. We know that substance is everywhere evenly present. And so wherever I am, I may create, I may cooperate with whomever is around me to create a reality that is preferred. I light this next candle for Nia, or purpose. Nia means to make our collective vocation, the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. There is something inside the human being that recognizes that I am more than I see between my head and my feet. This is universal. This is not unique to a community that may have gone through struggle. There is a recognition that I am powerful. I am filled with the power and the presence of God. And I am on purpose to get back to Eden. I am on purpose to release the imprisoned splendor. I am on purpose to be who God created me to be. I like this next candle, which I guess decided to light itself, but I'll put a little fire to it anyway. I like this next candle for Kuumba. And Kuumba means creativity. To do always as much as we can do to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. I have something to give. There is something about the creative spirit as me that is available and has something positive to contribute to the world. And finally, I light the seventh candle for Imani. And Imani is faith. And it's fitting that next month we celebrate the spiritual power of faith. It means to believe with all our hearts in our people and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. In other words, I'm not going through what I've been through just to go through something challenging. I'm going through this because it is building me into a stronger, more powerful spiritual being. And so I give thanks for right where I am, right what I'm dealing with, because right where I am, the power and the presence of God is. And therefore, the availability for me to transcend is. May these principles of Kwanzaa, Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujamaa, Nia, Kuumba, Imani, may they find full expression in your heart. May the elements of race, class, and culture be lifted so that the spiritual truth of these principles is felt, realized, and incorporated into our lives. May we take these ideas into ourselves and let them have free reign in our consciousness so that we may become better stewards of our world. I thank you, Spirit. You always hear me when I pray. And so I trust that this prayer is answered. And so it is. Let yourself be transformed by the power of ritual. Now, as I said in the ceremony, Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration of 7 principles: Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujimaa, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. And this is a rich tradition, culture, and shared heritage. And again, even though it originated in the African American community, I want to encourage you, and I think this is perfect for our community because we study the Bible metaphysically. We know that we're not married to these stories being exactly the way that they're recorded. We know that we are coming to them because there is a truth that supersedes the specifics, right? The reason that I can read about Moses or Abraham or Sarah or any character in the Bible is because there's a truth to the story beyond the specifics. There's a truth that doesn't depend on me being an ancient Hebrew living during the time of Moses or being a Gentile experiencing Jesus in, at that point, what would have been modern day Palestine. So these principles are available for anyone who has ears to hear. Now, Kwanzaa is a ritual celebration, and that word ritual often gets a bad rap. Rituals used properly motivate and move us. Through ritual, we build families and community. We make transitions and we mark important events in our lives. We express ourselves in joy and sorrow, and perhaps most importantly, we create and sustain identity. Christmas is a ritual. Christmas is a ritual. Spiritual baptism is a ritual. If you practice spiritual baptism at Unity of Santa Barbara the way that we do at Up Church, then I know that you have a whole process that you take your candidates through. Spiritual communion is a ritual. A ritual is simply a mindful series of actions that are carried out for a specific purpose. Rituals not only mark time, they create time because they define a beginning moment and an ending moment, and they communicate to us a transition from one phase of consciousness to another. So, what is a ritual? A ritual is simply a set of actions that move a participant from one state of consciousness to another. So think of like a rites of passage where you move from child to adult. Now, in many cultures, let's say in the Jewish culture, the rite of passage is called a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah. And now the person's not literally an adult at age 13, but it's symbolic. It's the symbolic movement from one phase of consciousness to another phase of consciousness. You could go from fiance to wife. That's a ritual, yes? You could go from student to graduate. Again, rituals are simply a set of actions that are done for the purpose of moving a participant from one state of consciousness to another state of consciousness. Are you following me? And a ritual then is a set of actions performed in order to achieve a transformation. The reason that you go through a ritual is not for the ritual itself, but for the transformation on the other side. So, my sermon thesis for you today is study closely and practice mindfully the principles of Kwanzaa. And if you do, then you can have the transformation that is promised by those principles. Now, there are 3 parts to a ritual, and this is what I want to talk about today. The first part of a ritual is separation. The second part is something, and I'll explain it, called liminality. And the third part is reintegration. Separation, liminality, reintegration. So let's get going. Point number 1, separation. All ritual begins with separation. You must come apart. When initiates are baptized into our spiritual community, we have them sequester themselves for a day as a part of the preparation for baptism. Now, I don't know how you do your ceremony, but I know with ours, we go through our membership class, we complete our membership class, and then we ask them to maintain spiritual silence until they come back the next day for spiritual baptism. So, and I'm saying spiritual silence, but I really mean vocal silence, meaning don't say nothing. And they practice vocal silence for the next 12 to 15, maybe 18 hours. All ritual begins with some kind of separation. Before students can graduate from an institution, they must come apart and complete a set of classes, whether they're going to right now, my son is in elementary school. He's in 2nd grade, and he's going through the ritual of what we call elementary school. And he's sequestered for certain parts of the day. He's physically on their campus being instructed. And a day is going to come when he's going to complete that. But right now, he's in the separation phase. He's not home with me during the day. Praise God. I don't know anybody that had to homeschool during this pandemic, but hallelujah anyway. So the separation. So in this separation phase of a ritual, participants are moved from their prior social role. So his prior social role was toddler. His prior social role was kid who got into everything, right? And they're moved either symbolically or by being physically sequestered from the larger community in a special place called elementary school. And I'm making light of this, but my point is that with every ritual, there's some kind of separation. Those of you that have become licensed Unity teachers, you know that there was a separation period where you had to take time and invest and finish your classes before you could then move and receive that recognition as a licensed teacher. So during this week, what I'm encouraging you to do is to take these 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And starting today, work with a principle each day. You don't have to have a kinara and candles and all of that stuff. You can simply just work with the principle. See, there's no transformation without coming apart. Those who just go through rehab, the first thing that they tell you is you got to separate from your community. So separation is a part of the transformation process. You cannot go where God desires to take you, staying where you used to be. This week has the power to be the most transformational week of the year. But the question is whether you'll make the effort to come apart. Point number 2, liminality. So let me explain that word. Liminality is the period where you are betwixt and between. Between the 2 different roles. You're not who you were, and you ain't who you're gonna be, right? And so you're in this in-between part. You've started the college program, but you haven't graduated, right? You've entered seminary, but you haven't been ordained, right? You've gotten pregnant, but the baby's not yet birthed. And so you can see that life is a series of rituals. Life is a series of coming apart where you're in this in-between time and in this state of becoming. And here's the thing, it is in this state of becoming where things can either come together or they can fall apart. In this in-between state, in the betwixt and between, we're neither here nor there. We're suspended. And this is sometimes a period of struggle because there's uncertainty. Will I make it through to the other side? Will I finish this process? A prolonged state of liminality can be existentially or psychologically or even physically painful and exhausting. And so, but you're going through because what is holding, what you're reaching for on the other side of this is that transformation. And it's worth these classes that you're taking. It's worth the effort that it takes to plan the wedding ceremony. It's worth the morning sickness. It's worth being separated from who you used to be in order to become who you were designed to be. Are you following me? Separation, coming apart, liminality, it is in the between and the betwixt phase. Now, here's where and how you make it through the liminality. Here's how you make it through the part where most people don't make it. It is to recognize that change in the middle is messy. It's in the beginning, you're motivated, but motivation wears off. And if you don't have something bigger or you don't have a practice, then you never get through to the other side. And so in this in-between stage, this is where practice comes in. This is where this is the power of ritual, because often there is a prescribed set of steps for you to complete, and taken in a specific order, it is going to bring you the transformation that is promised. So starting today, over the next 7 days, I encourage you to work with the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. If you have a kinara, I encourage you to light each candle and journal about the principle of that day. But even if you don't have a kinara, don't let that stop you. I want you to set aside 20 minutes each day to work with the principle. And let's talk about what I mean by work with the principle. So step 1, you're going to begin with prayer. You're going to ask for a fresh understanding of this principle. You don't have to be able to pronounce the Swahili. We've got the English translations in the handout that I prepared for you. And you want to indicate to your indwelling spirit that you desire to go deeper. So like the first principle is unity. Spirit, I'd like to go deeper on this principle of unity. Open up my heart and my mind so that I may understand unity in a bigger way. And then the next step is you want to read through the handout. I put a little excerpt of something for each principle, and you want to read through that and then allow that to take you even deeper. And then third step, you want to journal about any insights that come up from the reading and the prayer. And then I have an affirmation. Now, some of you that may have seen me in the not the New Thought movie, in the Think and Grow Rich movie. I had to get it together. Not Think and Grow Rich. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. That saw me in the As a Man Thinketh film. You know that I had my morning commercial. Did I forget the movie that I was in? All right. It's not like I've been in that many movies. But this is the As a Man Thinketh. And I talked about my morning commercial. And the thing about a morning commercial is that it drips on your own mind. It's a steady touch to the subconscious mind. And so I want you to get that affirmation and get in the mirror. And I want you to say it with feeling. I am one with all people. I am one with all life. I am one with God. I am one with the one. And then you want to close your session with gratitude and thanksgiving. And what you're giving thanks for is that I'm in the transformation process. Thank you, Spirit, for the ways that I have been changed today by this study. And so you do that each day with each principle. And I promise you, you will not be the same person that you were starting today. You will be a different person come January 1. Point number 3, and this is my close, reintegration. So reintegration is the period whereby you are reintroduced into society in your new role. Your period of liminality has ended, but every period doesn't end with you being transformed. The beauty of this next 7 days is that it may be one of the quietest times of the year for you. I know it is like that for me. Many people travel during this time. They come apart. If you've used this time well, life on January 1 has the power to be completely different than it is today on December 26th. Make no mistake, January 1 is coming. The question is whether or not you will be different. The question is whether you will hear this sermon and say, oh, that's nice. Oh, that Reverend Sherri, she can show preach. Or whether you will hear this sermon and move into action and do the work. Race in our world is so politicized that we hear about traditions from other cultures and we dismiss them or we think of them as being for those people. But I challenge you today, if you can look at the Bible stories metaphysically and find strength in those stories, then I know that you can do the same with Kwanzaa. And the promise for those who are bold enough to say yes is a transformation at the deepest level of consciousness. So let's review. Study closely and practice mindfully. The principles of Kwanzaa have the power to change you at depth. Point number 1, separation. Transformation demands that you come apart. Do something with these next 7 days. Point number 2, liminality. The way through the uncomfortable period of becoming is through deliberate practice. And so I gave you a practice where you work with a principle each day. And point number 3, reintegration. Every period of liminality is going to come to an end, but will you be transformed? God bless you.
So thanks, Reverend Sherri, for the wonderful message about Kwanzaa. And part of the law of life is we give where we receive. And we so appreciate the generosity of the many years at Unity of Santa Barbara, this incredible property, the love that we feel in this community. So we give from that place of fullness, of love. And we have a wonderful program called Be the Blessing, where you can be the blessing to fulfill the needs of Unity of Santa Barbara. We want to affirm, really, that we are debt-free, and we can hold that in our minds and in our hearts. And one of the ways you can be a blessing for the expenses of the year 2021, and if that is calling you, you can go out to the little tree outside, and when you give that donation, you'll get a little angel ornament. All right, so right now you can give here in the sanctuary. You can also give online. Our website is unitysb.org, and you can give with a credit card outside today. So we're going to hold that one of many channels of good in our hands, and we're going to affirm, because it is the Christmas time, I give with Christmas love, I receive with Christmas love. And so we give as we receive, as we sing together, God is my source.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and holiness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
So now it's announcement time. It is what is everyone's favorite time. We had a wonderful candle lighting service on Christmas Eve. You are the light of the world. And we've been celebrating festivals of light. And we are going to have another ritual of light, and that is our burning bowl celebration. And it'll be on New Year's Eve at 5 o'clock. So you have plenty of time for your dinner and your celebration. But we have a wonderful way of letting go of the old to make room for the new. Because I'm saying 2022 is about the power of you. So 5 o'clock. Just show up here. You can be online or you can be in the sanctuary, and we'll have our wonderful burning bowl outside. So be with us and let go of 2021. It's been a year of great adventure, but I know there are things to release. We have paper for you, and so you can just come, and we have pencils and paper, and we'll be ready to go. The next Sunday, January 2nd, is our White Stone celebration. We will have a white stone, and it is about we'll have a meditation. In fact, Jim Grippo will be here with his Middle Eastern instruments, and we'll have a meditation about what word is on your heart to hold for 2022, the power of you. And so those are our two typical and ritualistic and wonderful celebrations that we will have. And starting January 9th, we're going to talk about this new year. In fact, Reverend Kathy Norman will be with us. And the 16th, we're going to start a series that is the book of Eric Butterworth's that is Discover the Power of You. As I said, 2022 is about the power of you. So thanks for being here today, online and in person. Let's keep doing this thing about being the light of the world and let the power of you shine forth. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to her, too. At this time in our service, we'd like to recognize if anybody is here for the first time. And we'd really like you to raise your hand because we'd like to have a little flower to give you. and some information. And we definitely would like you to come out to our table and sign up to be on our e-blast so that you know all of the announcements that we have coming up and the good things and fun that we're going to do. So please do join us outside. Let's see, what else have we got? We've got the prayer line. I think they're going to put that up on the slide. So if after the person, there we go, reach out for the prayer ministry. We've got phone call. And anytime you get on our website, you can find all this information that we show you on the videos and here on the screen. So you can also send them directly to prayer@santabarbaraunity.org. So do those. I'd like to thank all of our people who make this thing possible every week. And isn't this all number one? Music, yay! So we have, today, of course, we have Woody on the piano. We have Rene Martinez on the drums. And I have to give a little special thanks to Brendan Statham? Oh, thank you. For him coming, I just love that bass at the beginning of your song. I'm a bass person. I like that. And our vocalist, Sharon Hendrix. We always love Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Woo! Also, if you see people, the ushers, Rubesan and Peggy and her whole team, and there's food out there, so you will all enjoy that. So let us now stand and sing our peace song.
Bye.